When I went up, that they were kind of like slinking in their chairs, like unsure. They had never heard me seriously sing. I also had a little bit of cheese, which maybe I shouldn't have done because I'm low-key lactose. I'm great at it in my room, like privately. That one is about speaking your truth. But it also initially started off as about the Three Little Pigs. You try so hard to be somebody, but you're already that person. I want a girl, so boys are cool too, I guess, but I don't know.
Sublime Podcast.
Hey guys, Sublime Podcast for you. I have the closest I can get to Lady Gaga in San Francisco Bay Area for a lot of reasons. So Alizeé, she is a singer and she's mezzo-soprano, which I think is close to Lady Gaga's voice, and similar genre, which is dark pop, very atmospheric pop. I like to refer to like female version of 2 Feet, which is one of the coolest bands in this genre for me. And she's from Texas, and she's pursuing a really interesting degree in like artistic therapy. Yeah, and I think you talked about like why did you go there, and that it happened that only San Francisco has this degree as a master's degree.
Yes.
Yeah, so do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, I mean, first off, Lady Gaga, big name drop, so thank you very much. Yeah, I just love singing. I've always been interested in singing and dark pop and the intricacies of the cinematic with darkness and that little bit of, what's the word? I don't know, just pop in general is something that I've always really liked. And so with expressive arts therapy, that is the only degree that is in San Francisco. In California, because I'm from Texas, like you said, and when I was looking for programs, I just wanted to get as close to LA as possible. That was always my dream in life as a singer. And that's when I found San Francisco. I found the program, and it was a perfect fit for me because it just combined everything that I loved, which was music, art, dance, creative writing, being a creative, integrated with healing and helping people. And it just felt like a perfect match for me because that is something that I also am very, very passionate about. Yeah, and I love it. It's a great program. I'm almost done. I graduate in May, and yeah, we'll see what's in store for me after that.
It's still like a medical degree, right? So you'll be
clinical psychology, yes.
Clinical psychology.
Specifically in marriage and family therapy. So
marriage and family therapy.
Yes, ideally I'm going to continue working with children. That's who I'm working with right now as an intern. And yeah, I was considering working with couples as well. I still am. We'll see. But children is what I really, really enjoy doing.
Yeah, I think if you want to quote unquote fix people, then children is the right age to do this because it's much more difficult to undo like childhood traumas when you are mature and you know, it kind of became part of your identity.
Yeah. Just helping them out, just helping them discover who they are, and exactly that too. Like when you get older, you kind of get more of a fixed mindset potentially where it's difficult to kind of mold. I don't want to say like fix is the right word because I mean, I don't know. I just really don't like the connotation that means you have to fix somebody. I don't think anybody's broken.
Yeah, anybody's broken.
But I completely understand what you mean though, is that when you're younger, you're more adaptable and you're more willing to have that growth mindset where you're willing to work on yourself, grow within yourself. Yeah.
Well, actually, if you want to stay in this area, then San Francisco would work for you. Because, well, people here love kids, and there are a lot of like really rich families who will do whatever it takes to do the best possible thing for their babies. I know couple speech therapists because, well, in my acting career and because of my personal reasons, I had to go to speech therapy for a few years. It works.
Yeah.
It works. And it's also an interesting kind of chunk of psychology and clinical research. Because the way you talk is a projection of your internal state.
Right.
So a lot of like stutter, a lot of any kind of speech pathologies, they are as much your ability to make the voice and the speech as much as it is to kind of face your own demons inside. And it goes back to like psychotherapy.
Definitely. And what I love about expressive arts specifically is that it doesn't have to be traditional talk therapy because some people just don't express themselves that way through traditional talk. It's harder for them. It's more difficult for them. people who have anxiety, there's just a lot going on in their head. So it's difficult to be able to talk it out with somebody and try to figure out what's going on with words.
Yeah.
And that's where expressive arts comes in. You can be able to heal through music and art. I mean, there's so much research with that, and just connecting to your body and connecting to who you are just as being, you know? Yeah. So that's why I love it so much too.
Awesome. Yeah. So in this case, there's slight chance that Bay Area will not lose another singer.
But I love it here. I mean, I do love the city. I love San Francisco. I love the Bay. I never expected that I would ever. I mean, look at it. I just can't stop. Yeah. I mean, this is why, I never expected that I would ever end up here, because it just happened by chance that the program sent me here to San Francisco. And I was like, okay, I guess. And I love it. I mean, there's just so much beauty to the city. I really, really do think that. And that's pretty much it.
Exciting.
I know. Yeah.
I've done research about the way you started, and there is one reel where you talk about, I think it's the very beginning, where you say, hey, I'm 13 and I'm going to be singing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So it's a very interesting idea, because the puberty and the teenage, the very, very early teenage years is when a lot of, not just voice, but a lot of your body kind of like becomes what it will be till the end of the life. So like, how did you come with this idea that it makes sense to start that early? And why did you think that putting yourself out there and telling, hey, I'm 13, but I'm going to, kind of own it, and I'm going to just grow with you and with your folks together and become somebody who is, in multi-state, kind of like known persona in the singing world?
What a throwback. When I was 13, that's when YouTube first started popping off. So that's when everybody was starting to post me singing videos and covers and all that stuff. I mean, that's when Justin Bieber got famous. That's when he just started posting on YouTube, and then he got discovered. So I saw that and I was like, oh, this is a way to put myself out there. I've always been that kind of person. I've always been a creative and wanting to do as many things as possible and join as many organizations as possible and activities. I just love doing things and expressing myself in that way. And so it just kind of, I don't know. I think did I ask for a camera? I think I just got it for Christmas one day, and I just started. And I loved singing. I mean, my first experience, I guess, with performing and knowing that I wanted to do something bigger with it was maybe at age 7, when they were doing like those castings on the radio for, if you come to this hotel, you can be the next Disney star. And I was like, I want to be a Disney star. Yeah. And it ended up low-key being a scam later on, because they were asking for a lot of money. And I don't know, maybe someone made something out of that. I have no idea. But that's when I first started, and I heard that and I was like begging my mom, please take me. And I did. And just like getting up on that stage and singing my heart out. And they also did an acting portion where you had a script, and it was like a short little commercial, and then also a modeling section too. I just always wanted to do things like that. At age 13, that's when I also joined a studio, and it's called LAT Studios in El Paso, Texas. That's actually where I met my best friend, Azul, who's also an artist. And they just had singing classes and acting and dancing and modeling. They did it all. And I was just looking for any opportunity that I could to show people, hey, I'm here. Yeah. And I've always been like that. I don't know.
Awesome. Did you have any support from your family, or like how did...
You know what? No. I mean, kind of. Yes, they do support me. But it's funny, because when I told them that I wanted to go to this audition, they tell me this all the time, that when they heard that I was going to go sing, they were like, okay, sure. Like, they supported me. They're like, yeah, go do it. But they told me when I went up that they were kind of like slinking in their chairs, like unsure. Wow. They had only ever heard me like belting in my room, just being crazy, but they had never heard me seriously sing. So that was the first time that they heard me seriously sing. And I don't know, I don't want to brag, but I did good. I did pretty good. So after that, that's when they really started supporting me. And they always tell that story too, because they were all embarrassed about me. But then they were like, oh. And I remember I sang a Taylor Swift song. And ever since then, they've just been really going to my shows if I have them, spreading the word about my album, being there for me. They're great.
Your family's in Texas still.
They are in Texas, yes. So it's my mom and my grandma who live in Texas, and my brother, he's younger than me, like in 8th grade. And then I have my dad's side of my family who live in Arizona. But I grew up with my mom and my grandma.
And like the background, like what do you know where they're coming from? Like what geographically, like where they're from and how did they?
Yeah, they're from El Paso. So El Paso is it borders on Mexico.
Right.
So I mean, probably deep down somewhere, I have somebody who was born in Mexico, but for the most part, my great grandma, they were all born in El Paso. So we've always just been right there on the border. So I'm Mexican American, and yeah, I love El Paso too. It's definitely a really, really great and supportive community as well. I mean, anybody that comes from El Paso, I don't know if you know who Khalid is. He sang "Send Me Your Location." Kylie Jenner actually promoted his song, and that's how he became really, really big. And he's from El Paso. You'd probably, if you heard a song, you'd probably recognize him. But yeah, just the support of anybody who comes from El Paso. I mean, that entire city will back you up. And it's a very, very strong sense of supporting and being there for community. And also just repping El Paso is just a really, really big thing, repping the 915. Because we're kind of, I don't know, we're kind of underrated. Like people don't really hear about El Paso or want to visit El Paso or anything, but it's a really, really rich culture.
Let me ask my girlfriend about what she knows about the Khalid from El Paso.
Maybe she'll know.
Hey, what do you know about Khalid from El Paso, Texas?
Khalid, the American singer from El Paso, is set to perform at the Coca-Cola Sips and Sounds Music Festival in Austin on March 7th and 8th, 2025. Recently, he also surprised 200 students at Lorenzo G. Loya Primary School in El Paso with Christmas gifts.
She is great. She knows everything.
She does know everything.
She's always right and doesn't.
I think she could have given a better description, but that's good too. That's great. I'm glad that he's there at the schools helping them out. That's great.
Oh, that's nothing. Cool. We don't need to go too far because those areas, like New Mexico, even California, was part of Mexico not so long ago when massive state of California was transformed into what we have now. New Mexico, a bit of Wyoming, and California itself. And everybody was speaking Spanish here. You know, so I mean, borders is something that keeps moving. So like today you are part of one country, and then give it 50 years, and you never know.
Right.
You chose a genre which is very far from you would maybe expect for this kind of like geography. Like it's dark pop, and it's
different,
it's very jazzy, very slow. It doesn't really help much to. I mean, you can dance to this, right? But
yeah, I'm maybe like contemporary or something like that, or like heels, or
influence of country kind of music.
Yeah.
And you do none of it.
And I do none of that.
So how
I
did you
did sing
choose?
Taylor Swift when she was in her country era, so I have a little bit of influence there, but no. I don't know. Like I chose my genre based on what I listen to. So that is the kind of music I listen to. I think of other artists like Ray and Dove Cameron and Billie Eilish, and those are my inspirations. I love Demi Lovato too. So there's actually also like a tiny hint of rock in there as well. Because that's something that whenever I was doing covers and singing, I just always gravitated towards rock too, like indie and whatever. So yeah, it just felt natural for me to, okay, what am I listening to and what artist do I really get inspiration from? And when I create my songs, that's what I have in mind. Okay, what would I actually want to listen to for me personally? And I just went from there. I was always listening to the girls too. So my entire Spotify is just a lot of women. And yeah, I guess that's it there. I don't really know why I never gravitated towards other styles. I just didn't.
So if we go back to the 13-year-old you, did you know that you're going to be in this genre? Like it happened to you naturally, or were you experimenting with other things?
Maybe not dark pop specifically, because I didn't know that was a thing yet. But pop, yeah. I loved Hannah Montana. And I loved this idea of just being a pop star / rock star. She's a rock star too. And so, yeah, I just probably got a lot of inspiration from what I was seeing on TV and what was portrayed on Hollywood and magazines at the time. And went from there. And I just I knew that I wanted to sing. And that was my main thing. I was like, okay, I'll figure out the details later of what exactly a song that I would make would look like. But I just wanted to sing. And so I did. And so that was when I was more thinking of, I didn't know how to make music. And I thought in order to make music, I had to already be famous and then people would help me produce or whatever. I didn't know the steps to take to actually make a song and write a song. So I was just singing a lot of covers and posting that when I was 13. And I have so many too that I have hidden because I should like go ahead and just post them too. But there is a side of myself that is embarrassed, which I shouldn't be. But I don't know. I was so vulnerable in myself when I was younger and I wasn't afraid to show that. And I really take a lot of inspiration from 13-year-old me because when I was watching that, I was like, wow, I was just being me and just talking and not caring what anybody thought. And as I grew older, I think anxiety just gripped me and like just worrying about what people think. And then also just having a really heavy perfectionism mindset. And so I lost that part of myself. And looking back at those videos, she's still there, but she just has to learn how to open herself again to people and just be that person again. Because she was cool. I love watching those videos. Yeah.
A very interesting journey of self-reflection.
Yeah.
So when you figured out that you lost part of your like identity, did you do anything about this? Did you have to go to like a therapy maybe?
My program is the therapy, honestly. Yeah. You have to do the work if you want to. Yeah. Be there for other people. You have to help yourself. And so the program itself and also spirituality, I got really, really connected to not organized religion or anything specific like that, but just meditating and yoga and being with me and myself and learning more about me, a lot of journaling, a lot of self-reflection. Yeah, that's probably the main thing that really, really helped me and is currently helping me with spirituality. And then when I joined the program too, I mean, a lot of the methods and interventions that we learn, we're doing to ourselves first so that we can practically recognize what we can do when we actually do the work with clients. So that's helpful too. And then also, I'm in therapy as well because that's required of me. I have to meet a certain amount of hours to graduate. So all of that together has helped.
Very interesting. And when you go to therapy, is it anybody who isn't also in your class and you kind of like work on each other?
No. So in the program itself, there'll be like role-playing scenarios where, okay, you'll play the therapist, I'll play the client, and then we'll switch. And it'll just be like a very basic session. We don't really get too deep there. And then with my actual personal therapy, that is with somebody that I chose on my own time. I just searched on Google therapist near me and then I found her. It's really cool. She goes to the same school as I do and she's an associate currently. And so what that means is she's not yet licensed because there's a whole process. An associate.
Which means cheaper.
Yes, exactly. Yes. And so associates, she's very, very well qualified and she's great. And she's a somatic therapist too, which is more about like the mind-body connection. And I really, really found a great one with her. But it's just, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just she has to, me too right now, because I'm a trainee. It's trainee associate, then you're a licensed therapist. We have to debrief with the supervisor and, that supervisor is what helps us with like insurance things and I don't know. It's a whole thing, but she's great.
Cool. And I think it's also a bridge to singing as self-expression.
Oh yeah.
Clearly, it's part of you of who you are. And I mean, if people sing from the very beginning, like I like to use my mom as example because she's a musician and she taught students in the musical school. And up until now, she sings every time she has an opportunity for this. Like, of course, with time, as you get older, it's more difficult to like use your fingers and be precise, especially if you play like
for years. Yeah.
But the voice stays with you, and it's possible to keep the voice in good like condition.
Yeah, as long as you take care of it. It's just like an instrument too. You do have to take care of your voice.
Exactly. So one section we'll talk about this is basically your techniques of singing and like advice you can give. But we'll get to this a bit later. So while we are on the therapy and the self-expression, so how does singing specifically help you with kind of retrospecting and reflecting on your internal maybe limitations, and whether you feel specific way when you sing, whether you feel better after you had like maybe a concert or a performance, and it's something that is researched and goes back to the therapeutic effect of the area where you say.
Yeah. So when I write a song, a lot of my music has to do with positivity. I really, really want my music to have a strong message, a strong positive message. And that is definitely reflected in all of my lyrics. I do have my influence of spirituality. I do have an influence of just healing and being yourself and trying to be motivational. And I don't know, I just want when people listen to my music, I want them to feel good.
Yeah.
And that is my priority with all the songs that I put out. I wanted to have a positive message. Not always. I mean, I guess like I can be sad and I can write a sad song, but I also like it to be a learning lesson and not just this is a sad song just to be a sad song. I want there to be some sort of deeper message behind it than it just being sad. So that's always what I try to do. So yeah, whenever I write and whenever I perform, it is healing. It is healing for me to be able to share that message with other people. And honestly, this is something that still comes up for me after performances. It depends if I feel if I did a good job or not. So that's something that I'm currently working on too. It's just that perfectionism side in me where, yes, it's healing and yes, I feel good because I'm singing. When I do karaoke, that's great because I'm judging myself less because it's more for fun. And that's when I'm just letting it out. And yes, I can completely tell you 100% that I feel great afterwards. But if I have a performance where I feel I didn't do as good, I don't feel as good afterwards because I'm hard on myself sometimes. So that's something that I'm always working on and trying to grow and I'm getting better at too. And that just comes with practice as well. And yeah, but for the most part, I mean, that's why, again, that I got into this degree because music, art, creative writing, whatever speaks and sparks joy in you through that sort of creative form. Of course, it's healing. Of course, it's transformative too. And it's just a way to express yourself and whatever's going on inside.
There are some processes in your body that overpower you.
Yeah.
And there's no way to control this.
Of course. It happens.
It goes back
we
to
are
like,
human.
when you are on the stage, like how do you fight this?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. When did that happen? So it happened recently at Summer Breeze, and this was here in San Francisco, and this was my first show in San Francisco.
Last year.
And it was so great. It was such a great, very well produced, very well put together, produced is what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Performance. It was great.
But then it was like maybe 200 people altogether.
Yes,
so much effort.
And it was an integration of artists and singers and designers and models, and it was also for charity. It was also to help unhoused communities. So yeah, it was really great. I loved it, and it was just really well professionally done, produced, all those things. So at that one, what was wrong with me? My stomach hurt. My throat hurt. Everything was going wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Like, what did I also had a little bit of cheese, which maybe I shouldn't have done because I'm low-key lactose. I don't know if I actually am, but low-key I kind of am. But I couldn't help myself. It was there and it looked good. And then that ended up hurting my stomach.
75% of people are lactose intolerant.
It's awful. I mean, it just makes me so sad because I love cheese. I love pasta. Cries. But magically though, I was fine like 5 minutes before I actually performed, but the entire hours before. And it stinks because I tried so hard to make sure that I was going to be okay. Like I was drinking a lot of water. I had my kombucha. I like meditated. Like you can do the most and you can try your best to prepare, but life just gets in the way. Being a human just gets in the way sometimes. And I did okay. I did good. It was fine because 5 minutes before I was fine. But yeah, just that worry too about when you're not feeling okay. Yeah. And then another time too, I can think of, I wasn't sick, but I think it was just being nervous and my throat closing up. And that's something that you really have to be mindful of as a singer, because that's your whole instrument. So if you're not taking care of what's going on here, it could affect your performance.
So you were able to like push through?
I was fine. Yeah, I think that was one of the performances that I didn't love, and that was just because I knew my throat wasn't at its 100%. Yeah, I liked it. I was glad that I did it, and it's just that person in me that's like, I know if I was just more comfortable with my throat, my voice, whatever. But it was good though. It was a good overall performance.
Yeah, interesting technique. And I think the preparation to performance is also, it's maybe as important as your being in the moment.
It is, yeah.
To make sure that there is no like thoughts that would distract you in the middle. Like when you're on the stage, like are you thinking about what is my next line, or like what I should be feeling when I'm saying this line and so on, because you have to make sure that it feels real and you are connected to your lyrics.
If I'm too in my head about it, I am constantly thinking about what's next. But I find that, and this is way easier said than done, but I feel like when I let go and I just am there and I'm just singing and I'm just being there in the present moment and doing it step by step, that's when I tend to have the best results. Like, because I'm just being me and I'm just being vulnerable and I'm just letting my voice speak for itself. I'm not really in my head so much. And that's, again, another aspect of expressive arts too, is that's the point of being a creative, is to get out of your head and thinking about what's next. So it's an ongoing process. It's also what helps me too is just practicing a lot before, because then it becomes
automatic.
Yes. It just becomes automatic, and then my body knows what to do and it just leads me. A lot of it is just intuition and what I feel like doing in the moment too as well. A good mix, a good balance of, okay, I practiced this a bajillion times. I know what I'm doing. And if I mess up, just keep going. It's happened many times where I feel like I know my song really well and then I just don't know the lyrics. I just make it up or sing straight up gibberish. I mean, the audience doesn't know, until I guess I become really, really big and they really know my words, they'll notice. But I mean, right now, like, as long as you keep going, it's okay. It doesn't matter.
Have you ever felt like if you really are into that image that you're projecting from the stage, have you ever felt sensation of kind of like disconnected from your body and kind of seeing yourself from outside?
Oh yeah, like disassociating a little bit.
Yeah.
Definitely, many times, more so like in the beginning when I first started, but the more performances that I do, that lessens and I become more connected as one, I guess. I think it's just, putting yourself and continuing to put yourself in those uncomfortable situations. Then we're good. But initially, and still sometimes too. I mean, it's bound to happen where, I don't know, it's just bound to happen. But I think as long as you continue to try and push yourself, it gets easier and easier.
Do you always write your own lyrics, and that's why it's easier for you to get connected? Or like say when you're singing somebody else's song?
Yeah, lyric writing has always come really easy for me. And I think I've done acting as well. And so I think that's just the natural part of me that can improv and think things on the spot.
Yeah.
I just hear a beat and then I think, okay, what's going to be my theme? What do I want to sing about? And then, or I kind of just like free write and just write whatever is coming out. And then from there I find a theme and then I clean it up. That's just kind of my process. And it always has come really, really easily. I don't know. Like it's really natural for me to write a song. I can write a song maybe in like, if I have a good beat, I can write a song maybe in like 10, 20 minutes. Wow. Really, really easily. Yeah. That's something that luckily has been a gift for me. I can make up songs on the spot. Like I'm actually really good at freestyling. I can rap. I would never be a rapper, but I don't know. I think it's so fun to just have a song play and then just see what comes out. And then with covers and things like that, I'm sure I did some performances where yeah. I guess the main thing that I love to do was karaoke, but the words are right there in front of you.
So like when you freestyle, you don't even know what your next line is. Like how do you?
No, I just go for it. Yeah, I just go for it.
Do you have like, is there a service that can give you like a beat for freestyle?
Are you gonna make me freestyle right now?
I don't know if we can find like a minus without anybody singing over.
Usually when I find my beats, I just search on YouTube like the genre that I want to do. So dark pop, for example, style beats. And then I'll put one on and then I'll do it. I don't know if I want to do that right now though. Okay, Under pressure.
I won't push you.
I'm all saying I'm great at it and then I'm not. I'm great at it in my room, like privately.
I guess what would make you feel easier about doing something like this is like the environment. So as you mentioned, when you do karaoke, the bar for performance is, there is no bar. Anybody can do it, and no matter how drunk they are, and no matter that they have no idea about like notes and like staying in tune and whatnot, they just go there, they have fun.
Yeah.
So that's why your expectation, if you do better than this, you feel great. But as soon as you go and like compete with people who do this professionally,
yes,
it's a very different feeling. So
yeah, a little bit of that comparison too that creeps in, but yeah, trying not to let that get to me. I was gonna say something and I forgot. Having to do with music and singing and I'm trying to start singing at like lounges and hotels and things like that. So that's what I'm going to be doing more of other artists, my music as well, but I mean, also just some popular singers that when people come and listen, they recognize the song, they can enjoy it, sing along, whatever. So yeah, more of that is probably going to come up about lyrics and remembering them and all of that.
So when you say that you can write a track in 10 minutes, like is it in your head or do you actually, open up your laptop, use some kind of music
I journal.
Software?
So like I said, usually my process is I just do what's instinctual. So I go based off the beat. If it's a very heavy, which tends to be a lot of my music, but if it's like a really heavy, intense beat, I think, okay, this is going to be kind of like a heavy, intense topic maybe. And I like storytelling too. So like I said, a lot of my lyrics revolve around positivity, but I also like telling a story. Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be about me, but like for example, Speak Your Truth, that one is about exactly what it says, speaking your truth. But it also initially started off as about the Three Little Pigs, just that like childhood story. And that was because I remember when I was younger, there was an alternative version of the Three Little Pigs. And it was about how the wolf was actually not a bad guy. Like he just was trying to borrow sugar. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. So the wolf was trying to like blow away their houses?
Yes. So that's the original story. But there was this whole other story that somebody wrote, like a spinoff about the Three Little Pigs. And it was like, hey, the wolf was actually like, he was trying to borrow some sugar and the pigs were being mean. And so because they were being mean to him, that caused him to blow down their houses. And everyone was like, oh, he's such a bad guy. Get rid of the wolf. Yeah. And the wolf was like, no, like I'm not a bad guy. So I don't know why. I just like heard the beat and I thought of the Three Little Pigs in that story from when I was younger. And so that's what the song is based around. It's like, even if other people don't believe you or even if they have some sort of perspective about you, speak your truth and still be authentic to who you are and don't let that stop you, right? Yeah. So that's like a storytelling type of thing that I try to implement in a lot of my music.
The children's stories are fascinating. Yeah. It's like when you're a kid and your parents read them to you, you just think it's it's an entertainment. Okay, you don't make too much off of them. But then when you grow up and you kind of revisit this very same stories that I'm pretty sure forgot mostly. There's so much wisdom there.
Yes.
It's fascinating. And how, like, as you mentioned, each animal has kind of image. And this image is pretty much consistent between a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Like, wolf is probably bad because it's always hungry. It's like hunting for somebody and it's there to, maybe hunt on pigs and do some harm. And then pigs are portrayed as either like lazy and dirty, or maybe opposite to this, like hardworking and being able to prepare and so on. This projects on people, and I'm like, well, I know that guy. I know who this story is about. Like exactly as you go, there's so much wisdom. So I do think that it's clearly those children's stories. They clearly are. There's no single author.
Yes.
Of them. People start to come up with ideas, and then they share, and then it kind of like builds up on each other. It becomes like really like true folk.
Yes.
Kind of like creative art. But I believe that they are written using animals as specific people. Maybe non-even people. But instead of calling those people out, because if I know my neighbor who is maybe like a pig or a wolf, right? And I don't want to be any specific about this.
Yeah.
Somebody who tells the very same story to their kids in Texas doesn't know my neighbor, right? But they can relate to the story, and then they can connect to the story through what they think about the animals.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, so much symbolism and metaphors and hidden messages, but also maybe not so hidden. Like they're right there in front
obvious.
of you. Yeah.
They're not obvious when you are small.
Yeah, because you're just thinking, oh, a silly story about pigs and a wolf.
Yeah, you just haven't had enough experiences to connect to with those stories. But this is amazing. I love it.
I know. Yeah. I mean, I love like Disney and like childhood stories and the nostalgia of all of it. So I mean,
Disney had so much. It's like there are some very strong and very obvious stories that were written about not just individuals, but overall like human nature.
Yeah.
It's like whole idea that you are this special girl, you're a princess, and then there is some kind of like maybe a monster out there who is powerful. It's always a powerful figure.
Yes. Or some prince that's supposed to save you.
Yeah. Or just come and save. Let's talk about this. I love this topic. Come and kind of save. So it's always a powerful figure.
Yeah.
Like maybe wealthy, maybe known and whatnot. And they kind of come into your life and they transform your life. So while this is based on the way our society like roughly operates, it's like women always are looking for a partner who can help them elevate, help them with their life and get them somewhere where they probably are not. And that's also changing because like now when anybody can be whoever they want, we also see the opposite of it, where like maybe more powerful women are in the company of younger guys. So we also see that. So that's the inversion of this. But overall, do you think that it's the right message to send for younger girls who believe that this is the reality of their life and that they just will be out there all pretty, not do too much about maybe like advancing themselves, and then some magical prince just materializes out of nothing and then gives them new life? Like, how do you feel about this message?
So Disney is obviously a very, very huge influence. I mean, it's everywhere.
Everybody.
And it's been here for years and years and years.
Every child in the world.
They know. They know about Disney. So yeah, it's definitely a huge thing. I think they're trying to definitely stray away from that because you have these strong, independent princesses like Elsa who doesn't have a man.
Right.
And you have Moana too.
Right.
And you can tell they're like
That's
trying
modern,
to move away from that.
There's
Modern,
maybe
right.
past 15, 20 years.
Yes.
But if you look at like 80s and 90s, like Ariel and like all the like more like classical princesses, like Snow White, they are all like this kind of feudal and like, well, I'm living this my regular kind of like mediocre life, and then suddenly Prince shows up.
Yeah. And at face value, like I definitely see that. I think there's definitely some interesting messages about all of these princesses and exactly that, where you think, okay, that's all it is. It's just somebody living in a tower. I'm thinking of Shrek right now because the new Shrek just came out, and that whole, Fiona just sitting there, but she's also like a badass. Like she fights and she's super cool. And I think all the princesses have a little bit of something like that too. I mean, actually, I would say that with these modern princesses, I think there's so much beauty in being able to be feminine and girly and like a princess. And there's so much power in that too.
Yeah.
And you can have so much to you than just that. And so I think with the modern princesses, I kind of like, I love them. I do still love them, but sometimes I'm like, ugh, but I still think you can wear a dress and still look beautiful. So I actually do love that part. I know that's okay. So going back to Ariel and Jasmine and all of them, I don't think that's the only message that they're sending, because if you do watch the movies, Jasmine also is very, very independent, and she actually strays away from what her father and what society expects her to do.
Yes.
So in that case, there's that. Who else can I think of? Ariel. She did that as well. She actually had this really
Ariel
high
and Jasmine,
expectation
yes.
about what she needed to be as a princess by what her father was telling her to do. And she said, no, like, yes, it was because of love and because of this boy who saved her. But I don't think it was just that either. I mean, she managed to just be happy and just be herself, even without a voice. And that was the big thing that was taken away from her. And yet she still continued to just fight for this life that she wanted, which was to not be a mermaid anymore. She wanted to be on land, and she wanted to have feet, and she wanted to explore the world. And so even without her voice, she was still able to do that. And so I think that, yes, while at face value, it looks like, okay, like it's just a girl in a dress being pretty and that's all there is to her, and then some man saves her. I think it's a little bit deeper than that with a lot of these stories, which is really, really cool.
It is. And even like if we add Snow White to this, because part of the story is that she had conflict with her stepmother.
Yes.
Right? And that's why she ran away, to start with. And then she lived with 7 dwarfs in the forest.
Yeah. Right. That was an interesting one.
Yeah, so that's,
yeah, and then that one she does like both. Me too. You know what? I don't think I have a strong defense for Snow White, honestly.
But yeah, it's like a lot of the stories they're trying to kind of prove their independence through conflict with authority.
Yes.
So like stepmother for Snow White, her father for Ariel, and also with Jasmine as well. Also conflict with her father. That's why she chose like the bad boy, to run away with.
Yeah, very true.
So I think it goes both ways. So clearly
goes both ways.
People who make this kind of like creatives, this kind of like stories and then movies, they are trying to fit whatever the current narrative in society is. That's why like now we see more independent princesses, because this is where we are right now. But again, like things change, and
And so that's what I was getting at too earlier too, is I kind of I love it. I do love the independence of it, but I also want them to look pretty. Like I want them to wear a nice dress. I saw so I'm saying this because in Frozen 2, specifically Anna and Elsa's, I don't like their outfits. And I'm like, man, like still let them look like a princess. You can still be independent and strong and look like a princess. But that's just because I love fashion and dressing up. And that's me just being a girly girl. But yeah, I think you could have both.
So let me ask you this question. So do you think that society changed way too much if we take past 20 years? Like, do you see the changes are mostly positive? I'm talking about like relationship, finding partners.
I don't know. It's like an ongoing question for me too. I don't know. It's a big one. A part of me is thinking, am I just maturing and I'm starting to realize things because I'm getting older, and like I'm just recognizing like the way that these roles are, or is that what's shifting my perspective on things? Is it because of how society is? And I mean, especially with social media too, and I mean we're seeing so much, and I don't know. I think my brain is like moving with so much that is at play here. So it's going to take me a while maybe to get to where I'm trying to get at. But I think with social media, it's difficult because I think a lot of women are trying to seek that validation. And so in turn, it's causing them to, I think I can think of this when I was younger as well. Like, oh, if I dress this certain way online, or if I look this certain way, then that's what's getting me the likes, that's what's getting me the attention, and that's what's deeming me as worthy. And so that was kind of my mentality with that. And in turn, it was affecting how I showed up, how my personality was too. And that narrative as well of, okay, it's modern to be really independent and you really have to be this sort of person. And so that trickles down into relationships too, where maybe you just had to fight for so long to be heard and be recognized that it just consumes you. And there no longer is that balance of what it means to be masculine and feminine, whatever that means. But I mean, I guess I'm just thinking of like the stereotypical idea of what it means to be masculine and feminine. And I think it's just all about balance and doing what's right for you. I mean, everyone's different too. I can't speak for everybody when I'm saying this. I don't think media is helping. I don't think social media, I mean, it is and it's not. I think it's just depending what you're looking at and what you're paying attention to. But I just think about like younger kids who are growing up with media and how that's all they see. I think there's nothing wrong with that modern idea of being this independent woman again. I think it's just, again, about finding that balance. And yeah, I think that's it. It's just balance. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
I mean, you mentioned lots of things. So it's a known problem with social media, especially with younger, minors, people under 16, under 18, depending on which jurisdiction you are at. And especially on the female side, where they are taking ideas of what ideal image of a woman is from clearly, AI generated content. And I mean, a lot of like, I use AI in my content. You probably also use AI, at least, in some kind of production, maybe in the music. And there's technology that makes things prettier on purpose, because that's the part of the performance. Like, if you can make yourself look better, if you can make yourself sound better, then why not? Sometimes there are like unprocessed like the concerts where you just go and you maybe sing with like just acoustic guitar, right? And that's it. So some people love that, and they are there, and they would enjoy the fact that you might be some slightly off tune somewhere, or forget how the songs unfold. But majority of stuff that you hear, there's so much of refinement and adjustment and improvement between the original and the end result. And it goes into movies, goes into like photos you see on social media, in music making, and so on, like autotune, right? Some people like purposely go overboard with autotune because they want this effect. Yeah. But some amount of autotune happens in pretty much any popular
like photoshopping too. Like if you're changing too much of who you are and what it is, then I think maybe that's where the problem is. If you're just completely losing who you are, then I think that's when it becomes an issue. I think a little bit here and there is fine. I mean, if you really want to fine tune something, that's okay. I don't see anything wrong with that. But you have to be careful.
There's so much content out there, and if somebody who is not really formed as a person, as a psyche, yet gets exposed to like never-ending stream of perfect photos, they start to think that there's something wrong with them.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
I think in last season I had someone from the psychology background, and she was talking about like her experience, and that she got into trouble, and her parents had to rush her to hospital because of her belief that there's something wrong with her, and she was comparing herself to social media, which is very far from being real.
Unrealistic. But it's definitely a thing. And it's difficult for these kids too, because like I mentioned, I'm interning for therapy right now. So I work with kids at a school. And so I'm learning a lot about what it is like for them just through having conversations, growing up with social media. And it's so isolating for them, because obviously as a parent, you are trying not to have them use social media as much. And so I have one kid who, she's not on TikTok, she's not on Instagram, she's not on anything, but it's very isolating for her too, because all the other kids, that's all they talk about. All they talk about is TikTok and dances and trends and all this stuff. And in turn, she feels left out, and she's not able to make any friends because she can't relate to her peers. So it's just so difficult too, because you're trying to protect them, but also, kids are mean and kids also like...
Do you think they are purposefully mean, or do you think they just are lacking development about like empathy?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe, but I don't think anybody is intentionally mean. I think just based off the experiences that you have and maybe how your parents talk to you or whatever. I mean, it could be a whole bunch of things, society, media, whatever. It could shape who you are as a person. But I mean, I don't think anyone's intentionally meaning to be bad, because as babies, we're not intentionally bad. Like, we just are molded to become whoever we become. And I think it's also very true that hurt people. So if somebody is going through something, it's going to end up trickling into their peers or wherever, or even just hurting themselves and it becoming like an inner thing. But yeah, and then also I think also developmentally, they're just learning how to communicate with one another and realizing that, hey, like what I said was hurtful and I didn't realize that. So that's what I'm there for, is to just kind of be that mediator and be like, okay, let's try to see things from other people's perspectives and try to learn from that. And yeah.
So is other, I don't want to call them patients, because
clients,
it's more like
students,
it's more of a
kids.
clinical word. So yeah, like the kids you work with, are they primarily like Gen Alpha or like maybe younger Gen Zs?
Gen Alpha, right? Yeah, I work through it with K through 8. So yeah, right now my main kids that I'm seeing are 3rd graders, 4th graders. I have 1 6th grader. Yeah. And 1 1st grader.
So yeah, I guess Gen Zs ended when 2000.
I don't know. Maybe. I think that is Gen Alpha.
15, I don't know. Yeah, we need to see. But my
know.
point is that Gen Z was the first generation that fully grew with the presence of social media.
Yeah. So I think I'm Gen Z. I think. I'm 25, 1999.
If you were born after 1997, you are Gen Z. Before 1997, you are a millennial. So yeah, Gen Z was the first generation that fully grew with presence of social media. And it also affects not just your perception of the world and your interests, but also the ability to communicate.
Yes.
Like Gen Zs are known for preferring communication over digital media and technology overall to face-to-face communication.
Right.
With the rise of dating apps, makes the dating landscape, very different from how it was before technology.
Definitely.
And Gen Zs are probably the most lonely generation so far.
I think so too.
And I just don't know, because Gen Alpha is just, kind of like popping out and growing. I want to see how it is for them.
I know, especially because the pandemic. So they also developmentally were supposed to be in school, but then for a long time they had to switch to virtual learning. And that caused a really, really big impact for them as well.
Yeah.
When they're at such a stage in their lives where their brains are still forming. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see where that's going to. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to be too negative, but it's a huge thing.
No, that's I don't think it's like a positive or negative. It's just the reality.
It's just the reality of how they're living.
The question is whether it's okay to continue this way, or if it's something we can do something about, and should we? And that's a very interesting area of research, I guess. So what I can do is I can connect you to I know a couple of folks on the psychotherapy doing research as well. So I think you guys will have a lot to talk about.
That social media for me was maybe like really in 7th and 8th grade. The first thing that I heard of was in 6th grade was MySpace and Facebook. So it was there, but it was only on the computer. It wasn't on the smartphones yet. And so it was like a little bit more contained in that way. But yeah, so I had a little bit of that kind of, I was playing outside all the time. I mean, I did not have a phone again until like 7th, 8th grade. And yeah, so I think I'm at least grateful that I got to experience that for when I was young, up until like age 10, 11.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, that was an interesting segue.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I love it. What's the primary way for you to advance? Like, do you see yourself doing more of like in-person performances, as you mentioned, at hotels, maybe like at bars and whatnot, or do you want to ramp up your social media presence, as well as pushing maybe more stuff to Spotify, Apple Music, and whatnot?
Yeah, all of the above. That's currently my journey right now. Is I'm really trying to strengthen my professional presence and how I show up online. So creating a website, creating an EPK, an electronic press kit, just like a sort of resume that includes everything that I've done, my studio sessions, my songwriting process, my artwork, all of that. Content for sure. I have been doing pretty good, I think. I've been trying to post once a day. And so right now TikTok is like the main thing that I've been utilizing, Instagram as well. But I don't know, TikTok is just, I feel like that's the place to go right now to really grow and expand as long as you're consistent. And yeah, shows as well. So I do want to try to do hotels and lounges. I have a couple of shows coming up here in San Francisco. Just trying to get myself out there more and showcase who I am. Open mics too. Yeah, doing the shows, creating more music. Occasional karaoke's, yes, all the things. And like I said, just really trying to establish that professionalism of me too, because when I'm trying to reach out to places, I think it looks good on me if I'm able to show, oh, hey, I have this, like that way you can more clearly, I have my brand established and you can more clearly see who I am in this way. Yeah, just working on my brand and who I am and showcasing that, being able to show other people who I am as well. Yeah.
In terms of different platforms where you put your music out, do you have a preference? Is any of them perform better with your kind of genre and your style? And why do you think it happens?
Good question. I don't know. So right now I'm just using the basics of what I know, and that's DistroKid, which is a distributor that distributes me to all platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, all the things.
Right.
It's working for me so far. I think though that's known for being like a good starter place. And then once I start growing, then I can start going into other places. I forgot the names of, there's one I'm thinking of, like United and something. I don't know. But there's other ones too that might be more beneficial for me and my genre. Something I probably have to do more research on and recognize. But right now, as I'm growing, I'm pretty content with DistroKid, allowing them to push me out through Spotify, Apple Music. Spotify's great because Apple Music too. I guess I just know more about Spotify, but you can get added to certain playlists and that can be a way for you to grow. YouTube is great as well from creating music videos. I have my most recent one that's doing pretty well. But you know why though? I think low-key, the reason why it's doing well is because I have the same name as a French singer. And so I think people are specifically looking up her and then they find me, which is great though, because then they're staying, you know, they're like, oh, I wasn't what I was expecting, but this is cool. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Networking too. Like I've been able to meet some really, really amazing people who have been helping me out. I have one friend, Dan, and he is a ballroom dancer. And so he's been getting my music out at places where they do ballroom dancing. I never would have thought. Like I don't know anything about ballroom dancing. I'm a dancer, but not specifically ballroom. And so, yeah, they played my song at a competition one time and they've continued to play it at recurring competitions as well. So that was something awesome that I never would have expected would have happened.
Ballroom dancing. It might be a fit actually because your genre kind of assumes like slower movements. Yeah, that's a great idea. So far, you're doing everything just yourself.
Yes.
Which is
all myself.
Yeah, which is a lot of work. And given that you also you're pursuing a degree, I can imagine that you probably wish you had more time and do more of it. Have you talked to like agencies, producers, somebody who can kind of manage you?
So that's something I'm working on as well. I just recently had an audition with Ray Agencies. I don't know if it's going to go through because the contract when I was reading through it is a commitment of 2 years or something like that, and I am moving in May, so that's something that I should have thought of in advance. But yeah, so since there's contracts involved and things like that, it might not be something that I'm able to go through with unless they're able to work with me even though I don't live in the area. We'll see. It's something I have to talk to them about. But yeah, I'm trying to. They're focused more on like modeling and dancing, which I really, really love as well. So I did tell them that I'm a singer, and like there was a whole interview process about what I'm looking for, what they're looking for, and things like that. But since that isn't their main thing, I'm still looking and still searching. And again, it also would be convenient for me to continue being somewhere long-term with an agency. So yeah, I'm trying. I'm looking. I'm moving to Arizona. So yeah, looking for places out there and see what there is to offer for me.
It's a beautiful area to be. Yeah,
it's beautiful. Mm-hmm.
I think when people think about like performing arts, they think LA, and and we talked about this.
Yeah.
But I think outside of LA, there are so many other hubs.
Yeah, and Arizona's growing too. I've been really surprised about the industry out there as well. And there's a lot of artists there. There's a lot of Austin, Miami, and we mentioned earlier, Vegas. Yeah, these other places are growing with social media. It could be great. I think it's just as long as you push yourself and continue the commitment towards whatever your craft is. I was talking to you about this earlier, but LA was always a dream to me. I always wanted to go to LA. But realistically, I don't think I would be able to work on my craft and produce as much music and make music videos as much because it's expensive, realistically.
And, you'll be stuck in traffic for half a day.
And I'll be stuck in traffic. I wouldn't even make it to my music video. So just thinking about I can move there and I can try my best and do what I can do. But honestly, I probably wouldn't be able to make as much stuff. And right now, I just want to make as much stuff as I possibly can. I'm just trying to push out everything that I possibly can right now. And so that's the move for me. And then if LA comes later, shoot, why not?
Yeah, true. I think with social media, you don't really have to be at the place where everybody else is. Mm-hmm. It becomes more distributed in this nature. Because of that, also, you can find places where it's financially more affordable to live, but also gives you enough connections and enough like-minded individuals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Vegas, clearly an opportunity. And you have a family in Arizona, right?
Yes. Yeah. And my boyfriend too. So that's the reason why I'm moving there too. I mean, he is the one who really made me appreciate Arizona and start to grow and love it. So all the thanks towards him. And yeah, my dad's side of my family is there too. And I didn't grow up with them. So it's going to be really, there's a hummingbird.
Yeah.
So it's going to be really great to just be with them and connect with them more deeper. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So do you think you'll be done with San Francisco in this case, like forever?
Living here wise, yes. But I do want to come back and visit. And again, this place has a special place in my heart for sure. As I mentioned before, it's not where I thought I was going to end up, but I think it was where I was supposed to end up, at least temporarily. And it's taught me so much and it's beautiful. And again, look at the water, yeah. So just to visit. Yeah. I don't know about living here though. Me and my friend during the summer, we're going to go back to El Paso, Texas, and we're thinking about doing a show there as well. And I think that might be it for this year so far. Mm-hmm.
Cool. So if people want to support you, how would they, do you have a fundraiser going or
No.
What's the way to connect?
My Cash App is AliStars. I'm everywhere. I guess just follow me and like my stuff and repost and spread the word is, I think, the greatest form of support. I mean, that's everything to me, is just being there, showing up and going to the shows. And then also, yeah, just a simple is huge. So yeah, I'm on AliStars everywhere. ALISTARZZ, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere.
Have you thought of giving back in the sense of teaching others?
Oh yeah.
Singing, maybe vocal school. Did you go to vocal school yourself?
So I took classes, again, that studio that I mentioned, LAT Studios, when I was younger. I took a little bit of vocal lessons too. I would be open to it. I don't think it's on my radar right now, I guess, because I'm so focused on school and just promoting myself right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely not a closed door. I definitely would be super open to doing that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and because you don't really have to be in each individual location.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you can just make content for educational purposes.
Yeah. And
then whenever you want to meet with people, you can get a venue and then do the class there.
No, yeah, for sure. So yeah, that too, dancing as well. I would love to teach dancing. Yeah, that'd be cool.
do you dance when you sing?
Well, I try to combine all my skills as much as I can. I was in cheerleading for 10 years too. So I have this big dream where one day I'm going to do a big performance. I'm going to do backflips across the stage and then sing and then dance and then do a pirouette and then do an aerial and then like do a backflip. Like I actually did do that. So I competed in pageants. And one of the pageants that I competed in was Miss Texas. So that's where I combined dancing, flipping, and singing. And so, yeah, I love combining all of the things that I love into one. I mean, that's why I'm so grateful that I found expressive arts therapy, because it's everything that I love all in one.
Awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How did you learn to do backflips? Like, 'cause it's kind of like stunt level, like skill.
Practice. I was in cheer for all-star cheer for, over 10 years. And yeah, I just learned, I just went every day. And that was my entire life for a really, really long time. It was just go to school, go to practice. I was at one point too, when I was in high school, I was doing dance, cheer, and what else did I do? Dance, cheer, and school, I guess. I feel like I did something else, but I don't know. So I just remember having to go into dance practice at like 5, 6 in the morning before school started. And then I would go to school and then I would have cheer practice afterwards. Oh, and I was on 2 teams. So I would go straight after at like 5 maybe, and then I wouldn't get home till like 10 p.m. sometimes. And that was my routine every single day. So I've always been a person like on the go, involved in things. It takes a lot for me to feel overwhelmed actually. And I'm really, really blessed to say that. I just have a lot of interest. I have a lot of interest.
That's amazing. And like while you're young, I understand why trying to push as hard as you can while you're young, because with age, you will have less energy, but more experience and just knowing how to get to things faster.
Yeah, for sure.
Advice to somebody who is starting in their career, and then if you like can recommend specific like techniques, specific like approaches on how to stay sharp and stay warmed up, as well as in the music composition, because you mentioned that you usually find beats, and so those beats, it's not something that you make yourself.
No, I think everybody's process is differently, so whatever works best for you. But for me, what I do is I just look up beats and then I go based off of that. Whatever I feel is a good fit. Sometimes I find one right away. Sometimes it takes a long time. So it's just through shifting through them and seeing what I'm resonating with and seeing what naturally happens. As far as tips go, I think when I was first starting out, it comes with practice, I guess. So I don't know, but just making sure that just to not waste your time and not waste money and not waste all of that is just to make sure that you're sure of the song before going in. And that comes with maybe like recording it, recording how it would sound like on your phone first, and just really making sure, because there was many times too where I would go into the studio and I was like, oh, I'm not sure about this song, and then I end up regretting it later. Like I was like, oh, well, I shouldn't have done it if I wasn't sure. So just be sure. And then that's been helpful for me more recently, is like, okay, I'm a lot more proud and confident of the songs that I've been coming out with recently, because one, practice, I've just been learning more about what it's like to record and make a song. But also, just while I was writing the song, and like, I just made sure that it was right instead of just pushing something that I wasn't sure about, and then I just wasted time. So that, since it's something that I'm doing right now, just really building your brand and who you are, and building that professional presence and putting a portfolio of everything that you've done and recording everything. Yeah, there's so many times now where I look back and I'm like, oh, I should have gotten more videos of that because I've done so much cool stuff. And so, share everything. It's kind of difficult too, because I'm like wanting to be more of a content creator, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of cringy. Like I don't want them to see them recording me, but you kind of have to get over that and just do it, because this is to benefit you. It's to really make people aware and realize and recognize who you are, because nobody else is going to do it but you. So you have to really, really push yourself and step outside of your comfort zone and just do it. And then I guess the final tip is that just do it. Just keep going.
Love it. Cringy is it's the sign of just trying new things and being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's how growth feels usually. Because if you don't feel cringy, you're just doing the very same thing as you've done before.
Definitely.
So I think the cringiness it can be where you want to be. You want to go.
It's kind of necessary. Yeah.
Yeah, but getting back to the tips. So I think the usage of technology. You have your phone, which can do so much, and you can do the voice memos in iPhone, just to record your singing, and you can have the beat, and you can record yourself, and then you can listen and kind of give yourself feedback right away, and that gives you enough of iterations even before you get to the studio.
Yeah.
So there's technology that is easily available to you, and it makes sense to use it. But I think the main component to pretty much anybody's success, not just in singing or in music production, is you mentioned that there were some really good people who helped you in your career. Like you had someone in the ballroom dancing who helped you grow, and also you've met someone who is a best friend of yours now, who also helped you. So I think being able to find those people who can help you grow, and who can give you either a direction or advice, or just vouch or advocate for you, is also super important.
Oh yeah.
So like mentors. So can you maybe like name someone who was pivotal and instrumental in your career?
So many people. I mean, for one, my family for sure. If I can name one person, I already did. But Asul is like amazing. I'm so happy that I met a best friend and have someone who is so similar to me. Like we both make music. We both are creatives. We both use that to express ourselves and express who we are. And she's a childhood friend. Speaking of 13, I met her when I was 13 too, like in that era. And so, yeah, she just inspires me every day, and just always supporting me and always going to my shows, and then feeding back that same energy of me being able to go and support her too, and just see how we grow as well, and how we've changed and how we've molded, and how we've talked about these things as kids, about our dreams and aspirations, and then looking at ourselves now and thinking we're doing it. Like we're doing the thing. Yes, we're not maybe what is considered famous and getting all these views yet, but we're still doing the thing. We're still making the music, and that itself is, it's so cheesy, but the journey itself is like that's it. That's the thing. It doesn't matter these views and those people in the audience. I mean, in terms of like numbers, but just the fact that we are actually doing what we said that we wanted to do forever, and we actually stuck to it and created the song, wrote the song, made a music video. Like I never would have thought that I thought, oh, like I won't be able to do music videos until I'm actually famous. And I'm able to do those things. And that's the power too of media, and like how we're able to share that with each other. And we don't need, although it'd be amazing to be with a producer, or what do they call it, a record label? Yeah. We don't need that. Like we can still do our craft without that. So her, my boyfriend as well. My boyfriend is amazing. He's always there for me. He's always supporting me. He's always pushing me. And like I had a talk with him before this too, because it's also like that. There's always a little bit of nervousness when you're putting yourselves out there and you're being vulnerable and you're talking. So I was just expressing that to him. And he just told me that, and it really, really resonated with me, is that you try so hard to be somebody, but you're already that person. And that was just really beautiful for me to hear, because yeah, I feel like I have worked so hard and strived so hard to be Alizeé and whoever that is, and this perfect version of Alizeé, and that perfect person doesn't exist. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I'm already there. I'm already here. I'm already doing it. I am a singer. And yeah, just having that support system and having the people around me be there for me throughout all of it. Yeah, thank goodness for them. Yeah, I really, really do owe so much to all of them.
Beautiful. Yeah, and I guess it's inside of you already. You just need to make sure that people start to see it themselves. And the way to do this is to kind of continue on the journey
For sure.
you currently have. I love it. So there is a story of Bart in Bay Area, and initially the original projects of Bart from like 60s, they wanted to do a circle. So basically connect San Jose with like north Sonoma, and then make it go back through San Francisco. And the train was supposed to go under the Golden Gate Bridge So they wanted to build kind of like, rails, which the train just kind of like hangs to, and then goes all the way.
Wow.
But this required approval of all the counties that were involved. And Marin County didn't want all those people to come. So they still were very snobby about this, as well as Peninsula. Peninsula also didn't want all those people to just jump on BART and just be near their fancy houses. So therefore, we got BART in the current shape. And even though it's growing, and they finally built the extensions to San Jose, and they're also building it east, but we didn't get extension north, and we don't have a connection through Peninsula. So instead, like Peninsula kind of like, well, okay, so train is not too bad, but we don't want to do BART. So they built the Caltrain. And now in the south, you can take BART, go all the way to a station in San Jose, and this station is also the station for the Caltrain. And then you have to change, and you can go up all the way to San Francisco.
Yes.
There will be no connection here because, like, technically, so the BART will be like on Market Street this way, but the Caltrain will be Soma maybe like 15 minutes down. So you'll have to walk, or maybe there are some buses. There is no connection. But this is where ferries are coming in.
Yeah.
So instead of building trains, those counties will like, well, okay, so we need to get connected, and let's build ferries. So that's why, like up north, they have a station where you can take a ferry from here, from ferry building, go all the way to Larkspur, and then from there you can jump on another train called Smart, Sonoma Marine, something like, and it goes all the way to the airport in Santa Rosa.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, that's another like branch of the system, which is also very cool. So
cool.
Yeah, if you like to take public transportation, then yeah, you can go up north, and then there's all kind of wineries there. They make beer. There are a bunch of really cool towns.
Yeah.
I don't think Smart gets all the way to like Hillsburg, for example, but Santa Rosa is a place for wineries and beer.
Yeah.
So if you're into this kind of stuff,
I am. That's awesome how you can just get anywhere so conveniently. El Paso is desert. There's no water anywhere near you. So anytime, living by the water and then being able to take the ferry, it's, like I said earlier, it just feels like I'm in a movie. I don't know, because all before I grew up with was just sand, which was nice too. But
yeah, that's sad. The tap water is very expensive here. I say so. It's like it's so weird, people who don't live here. Like, well, you have all this water around. Like, why do you?
Yeah.
What kind of the drought you're talking about? Like, why is the water so expensive?
Okay, is this true though? I heard that the tap water here is like the most purest, like cleanliest water in like the United States, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, the government designed the system of tap as a closed system. So that means that once you clean that water, it stays clean in the pipes.
Okay.
Yeah, so technically tap water pretty much anywhere in this country is drinkable.
Okay, yeah. My friend told me that and I was like, are you sure?
I don't know about California tap being any special or any different. I mean, there's a lot of regulation here, of course. That said, there is a huge way to go from drinkable to actually not having bad stuff for
yes.
you. Because you can drink stuff and be okay, and then 30 years you can get like mercury poisoning, because traces of mercury in all the water you've been drinking.
Scary.
So that's depends on what you call clean
right.
cleanliness.
Yeah, so, I'm just gonna use filtered water just in case. Always trying my best to, but
water, the one that is in tap, gets here from underground and also from reservoirs. So like we have, there's a massive reservoir next to Yosemite. So they have a massive dam there, and this is where this water is drinkable. It's a clean water, and sometimes they open the gates if the level is too high, But as you can see, it requires effort to store, and it's why it's so expensive.
Got it.
It's not too bad to get to the point where you actually will take water from the ocean and remove salt. It's just also very expensive to do that. Because removing salt requires factories, and also those factories consume fuel, coal, maybe, it depends on which technology you're talking about. And also the byproduct of this desalination is a lot of salt. So where are you going to dump the salt? Okay, so there are lots of questions that need to be addressed so you can use this water around you.
Interesting.
Yeah, and humans cannot really drink this kind of salinity in the water because there's so much salt that in reality you will get even thirstier from drinking it. Then it will help you.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Makes sense.
that's why we are where we are. Your process for music making, like what software are you using? And then when you go into production of like music videos, so you partner up with specific videographers, producers. How do you choose them? Like what's your, how do you make sure that the end result is where you want to be?
Yeah, software, I couldn't tell you. So I work with a producer in El Paso, Texas, and he is great. And so when I first started my music journey, I had actually been involved in a project with another artist. And so I was in his music video, and that's when I just learned so much about how it works, how to make a song, the industry specifically in El Paso, Texas, and like who to work with and who to talk to. And so that was a really, really great opportunity that just introduced me to everything. And from there I met somebody who made songs and made beats. And from him, I met the producer whose studio that I go to and I record my songs, and he mixes and masters as well. I have no idea how he makes the magic. I couldn't tell you, but he does a phenomenal job. Yeah, his name is Leo Afe Entertainment in El Paso, Texas. And it's just a little home studio, and I just think that he is very, very talented. He makes really high quality stuff in my eyes. I think he's great. So yeah, I just work with him and I'm very loyal to him. So every time I go back to El Paso, Texas, he's who I work with. I haven't worked with anybody else. Mostly, out here I've tried to. It's just cost. It's expensive out here. Yeah. And so it's very, usually what I do is I just write everything. I have a second album that's coming up. It's called Dreamscape. It's going to have 11 songs, and already 10 of those songs are written and 5 or 6 of those songs are recorded. And once I go back to El Paso during the summer, that's when I'll go ahead and record everything with Leo and have everything ready to go and send them to him to get mixed and mastered, he already has them. But yeah, so that's my process with that. For music videos, same thing. So Leo works with somebody named Steven Snyders, I think how you say his last name.
I think I heard about his name.
Yeah, and he's great as well. So he's recorded all of my music videos. I've continued to work with him. I have somebody else who I am probably going to work with for my next song on this upcoming album. And he is a photographer that I've worked with before. And he also works a lot with like advertisements and models with like hand modeling type things. And very, very good. I look at quality. I look at a bunch of things when I'm deciding who to work with. I just look at who's going to match what I'm trying to do. And so he's another person that I'm really excited to work with. And it sounds like we are going to be working on that project together. And he's done a music video for an artist in Mexico. I think a couple artists in Mexico. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. That's my process for that.
Do you have a list of like creative producers who you would love to work with? Maybe like do like a duet with some other singer?
I don't actually, no, but I am so willing and so open. So if anybody were to message me and like be like, hey, you want to work together? I'd probably more than likely say yes. Just also because anything that's offered to me, I just really like the experience, and you never know what's going to come out of it. So I don't have a list right now, but I'm super open to working with other people.
Who would be your inspirations? Like people who you think are where you want to go yourself, or people who you can learn from. Maybe even if they're not there, but you like the way they do things.
I don't know, actually. I mean, right now, the only people that come to mind are like the celebrities that I look up to right now that influence my music. So that would be Ray. I saw her in concert in Oakland, and she is incredible. Do you know who she is?
I heard the name, yeah, sure.
She's just an amazing powerhouse vocalist, and she also inspires my type of music too, because dark pop, but also like there's a little bit of musical theater in there. It's kind of like putting on a show. And so she has one in specific, it's called Oscar-Winning Tears, and that one is just from the beginning. She's like, okay, welcome to my track. We're going to take you on a journey. All right, the show is about to begin. And then she like sings, and it's just like, it's like theater. I don't know. It's like when you go and you're watching a show and there's a beginning, middle, and end, and it's like a big performance. And so that's somebody who I really look up to. Also style-wise as well. Like she's a very elegant, classy, satin dress type of girl, which is me. And so I just also love her fashion sense and how she presents herself, how she sings, the type of music she makes. What she writes about too, the music that she writes about is very vulnerable, raw, and also how to transform negative experiences into something of growth and positivity. So yeah, she's probably like my number one when it comes to who I want to be and who I look up to.
Do you see yourself like going into like more family mode at some point, like getting married, having kids?
Probably. But that's like so far away. I don't know. Not anytime soon. I always told myself that if I ever had a boyfriend, a husband, a partner who really, really wanted kids, then I would have kids. For me, that was never like on my own. Oh, I really want a kid. I just always thought, well, I guess if he wants one. I don't want a lot, like maybe one. And I really want a girl though. So I know that's not, I know you're not supposed to say that, but like I want a girl. So like boys are cool too, I guess, but I don't know.
Well, there is 50% chance.
I know. I know. I'll still love it if it's a boy, him, but
every next one you push out has a higher chance of becoming.
Yeah. I heard like the certain foods you eat and like the certain things you can do.
There is some research about that. Yeah. And I think there is no like way to control that, but there is.
I know.
There are some ways about like maybe, specific like time of the month. This again, there's some. Right. It becomes more like, if you are Capricorn and your partner is like a
yes,
whatever. Right?
See, and I'm gonna go with all those superstitions. I don't even care. Like any little old wives' tale superstition, zodiacs, the stars, the moon, that they align right at that time. I'm gonna try it, and you know what? I'll test it out for everyone. And like, if not, it's fine. But yeah, so yeah. I mean, eventually, not anytime soon though. And also with like getting married, I want a big wedding. I want like a nice extravagant wedding. Maybe not like in terms of people, like a lot of people, but
you want to make content.
I want to make content, and I'm just a girly girl at heart. Like I'm a princess loving, dressing up. Like I dreamed about my wedding when I was younger, and like wearing the white dress and the veil. And I mean, that's just who I am. I'm just that kind of girl. So yeah, that'd be cool.
What's your take on the fact that earlier, like women kind of, were getting married much earlier in their life, and then also, giving birth to their kids, the first ones, in their like early 20s, sometimes even before that.
Yeah.
And now it's like everything shifts into 30s, and that's again, it's a very same coin where like now for women there's so much sense to focus on themselves. For in their 20s, kind of thinking about the career, maybe becoming financially somewhat independent, and then so they can plan their 30s.
Exactly.
But it also has implications on the fact that overall, like the population is getting older, and the kids are being born for like older parents because of this, and it also affects. Like development and so on. So there's some change.
Pros and cons to it all.
You clearly are in the second camp because you're doing pretty well, and you are doing okay. It makes sense to go as far as you can, and then you can always take a pause and like become a mom. So do you think that it's going to be the new norm where the maternity and paternity is being postponed until like later in life?
I think so. I think to all your points, yeah, there's all those reasonings as to why. And then it's just so kids are expensive. And I think people are realizing that. And I want to make sure that I am as stable as I possibly can be to be able to provide. And also, I think it's good that if I had a kid when I was 21, early 20s, I don't know, I just wasn't, the things that I know now and the way that I've matured in certain sorts of ways and worked on myself too, because I was able to work on myself more throughout these past couple of years in order to best show up and provide for another person. Yeah, all of that is really, really important. My mom had me when she was really young. She had me when she was 21. And then my grandma had her when she was like 21 too.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can definitely see what you mean. I think it's also like a cultural thing as well for us that being younger parents. But that was, I don't know, ever since I was young, I just knew that I didn't want to have kids right away or like be married right away. I just wanted to wait until I was at around 30, I guess. I don't know. Everybody's different. I still know some people though too that wanted to always be a mom, and they wanted to be a mom when they were really, really young. Could not be me. I don't know. Yeah. Something that seems so far away. It seems so adult that like it's just not something for me right now. But maybe eventually when I'm back at that phase in my life. Right now, I'm just trying to establish myself financially. Also, career-wise, is just I really want to focus everything on my career.
If you want to have family and kids, it makes sense to have like a hard stop where you kind of have to do it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Some people can do it all.
Well, I mean, if you are like in 40s, then it's becoming very difficult.
Yeah. I'm also kind of selfish. Like, I kind of just want to focus on me right now. And like, I think that's an important realization to do too, because there are some people who, I don't know, just aren't in a place yet where they're able to fully do everything that they can for somebody else. Sometimes, not everybody. But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of want to do me and that's it, and not have to worry about a kid right now. And then later on I can be selfless.
That's also a very good call out. I think like the whole like manifestation of like self-love and self-care is one of the stepping stones in psychotherapy.
Yeah, definitely.
And a lot of challenges and like the triggers for behaviors that people wanna change, coming from I would say situations where people are conditioned into not fully being themselves, trying to fit, trying to seek validation from others and so on. So all those behaviors, they are very easy to pick up if your parenting was far from ideal. Like if you had a very authoritative parent and that parent expected you to behave in specific ways, you kind of grow up behaving this way. Right. And then the therapy can't fix, again, not fix, but
I mean,
change.
It's interesting too, because you might not even know that you have that, because like you can have that parent and you can think, oh, I'm never going to be like my mom. But then it shows up like in relationships too, like, oh, like I'm starting to do that thing that my mom would do to me. And I promised I never would be like that. But naturally, I mean, if you were constantly treated that way and you were constantly surrounded by that, it comes up and it happens. And you never would have thought until you're actually put in the situation, and those reoccurring patterns and generational influences start to come up. It's really fascinating.
So do you believe that it's not just the parenting and your childhood, but also like genetics?
It can be a generational influence. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of research when it comes to that. I mean, I don't know. There's just a lot there. But I mean, one, because of you just growing up in that environment. So because your mom treated you this way and talked to you a certain way, then okay, naturally, because that's what you know, then that's how you grow up. But also, it could be a genetics thing as well. There's a lot of history too, and there's a really, really great book about it. It's called My Grandmother's Hands, I believe, and it's about the African-American experience and how slavery still has an impact on people today because of that idea of generational impact and how it gets passed down and passed down and passed down. And so certain ways of communication and certain ways it can show up in relational dynamics lead all the way back from centuries and decades ago. Yeah, it's a really great book. Highly recommend it.
I'll pick it up as soon as when I'll be driving home. This whole idea of like self-love and self-care is one of the stepping stones towards changing your behavior. And sometimes that might feel like the person who goes through therapy is changing too fast, and the people who are around this person, they might not like it.
Yeah.
You see? And that's also a sign that for that person, it's kind of time to, to change the environment and grow. So, did you have experiences where you've been, part of some circle, and then you felt like you are stuck there and you wanted to change, and then you've done and did all the work on yourself, and all those people that you used to be with, they don't feel like they are your tribe anymore. So you had to go and find new people.
Yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. I guess kind of. I wouldn't say super, super dramatically, like with my close friends who I've known for years. No, I think that through all of our changes and the way we've grown and the way we changed, it's all been for good, and it's allowed us to like just be stronger with each other too, because we've learned better ways to just be a good friend and like things like that. And so with my close-knit circle, no, I can think of like other like maybe not close friends that this might have happened, where I've just realized, okay, like this isn't my scene anymore, or like I think I'm thinking of situations too. I think I've always realized though pretty younger what was meant for me and what wasn't meant for me. I can think of like just being around people who, I just noticed that you speak negatively a lot about other people. Okay, like I don't really want to be in that environment, because if you're speaking negatively about other people all the time, does that mean you're speaking negatively about me? You know what I mean? So judging circumstances based on that is something that I was able to intuitively pick up on pretty easily and early, even without so much self-reflection and self-worth. I think I just always had a strong sense of self and a strong sense of like, okay, who do I want in my circle versus who I don't want. But even not that, like, it's not like, oh, you can't be my friend, you can't be my friend. But yeah, just what energetically is best for me. Yeah, and then that's just like, it's such a great topic too, because I can see what you mean about when you're changing and other people don't see it. I mean, I'm thinking of my family too, because I think there's been so many ways that I've grown and I've become independent, and like they're still holding on to that childhood version of me. Sure. Yeah. So I think that's like right now something that I'm managing and like working around too, like is just them recognizing me as like, okay, this version of me that is an adult, and like, yeah. So that's something that also is just really, really interesting to navigate.
How can people find you? So you mentioned you have TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
Yes, Alistarz, ALISTARZZ. To spell my name, Alizeé, it is ALIZEE with a little accent at the end. And that's my name. That's my name. So it's everywhere too. Spotify, Apple Music. If you search Alizeé. Yeah, I think that's it.
Any final thoughts? Any like closing statements you want to do, like for the audience? Somebody, if you can have a message for the whole world.
Yeah, no, I mean, thank you so much for having me. This was a really, really great opportunity, and it's really easy to talk to you and just put things into perspective as well through these conversations is really, really meaningful and great. So thank you. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say, but I really, really appreciate having a platform to be able to speak about my music and speak about something that I'm so passionate about. And I hope that is reflected towards the people watching.
Awesome. I'll try to catch you at the concert, and you folks also. There are tickets, I guess, right? So do you have a link to tickets?
Couldn't tell you, but yes, it's
you can send me
for
later.
The one that I'm for the one that I'm doing recently. It's like $20. Yeah,
awesome.
to come.
We'll see you in the next episode. Cheers.
Awesome. Cheers.